Okay, so let's talk about some lettering today. So we're going to go over how to use guidelines, how to center it, and then talking about some font choice. So 3 kind of things. So the first thing you need to know in your lettering is you must have guidelines. So guidelines can come in a range, but let's talk about some basic ones. So using a ruler is always your friend when you're talking about lettering on your artwork. So all you do is you make yourself basically lines to follow. So then you know that your letters have to be this big. So you have consistency of how big they are. I'm going to go over this in marker so that you can actually see. Okay, and normally you do guidelines super lightly so that you can erase them later on. And for the purpose of this, I'll do it in marker so you can actually see. If you're working on a curved surface, draw the line for the curved surface first. Like that. And then easy way to start. So I see it's a little bit higher over here. An easy way to tell if it's higher on one side than the other side is basically build a vector like you do in math. And then down here and down there, so you know kind of where it's, so I shouldn't go past that, so it's the right height. Okay, so finding the middle can come, so whenever you're lettering, you want to start from the middle and work your way out. So right here, I can look, this is 12 inches, so the middle is right here at 6. For a curved surface, it's a little bit different. The easiest way is to take a piece of string, and I have my lanyard here, so it's easy for me to do that. So I can spread it around, and I'm going to go to the middle because that's the biggest part. I can measure that. Okay, so it goes to about here. Then I'll straighten that out, and oh look! It happens to be the same size as the paper. So I'll take this, I pinched right at the halfway point, and I'll bring it down. So now I know here is the center. So I can start there. Okay, so actual lettering. So now that we've talked about those guidelines, that's what these things are. We need to figure out how to find the center of whatever you're writing. So maybe you're writing like respect. Okay, let's just R-E-S-P-E-C-T. So just like in math, you want to find the mean, median, mode. So you want to find the median. You want to find the middle of where your word is. So I'm going to change colors, and let's find the middle. So cross out the first one and the last one. First one, second with the last. There we go. Just like that. Okay, so now when we start our word, we're going to start with the center letter. Now, if you had something that had an even number of letters, one letter would go on one side and the other would go on the other side. So easy stuff like that. Also, if you're going to work in upper and lowercase words, do yourself a favor, like you know, when you were a kid. Find the middle of the sentence, so that's like 1.25 inches, and you just about here for halfway, and give yourself those guidelines of how to do it, like when you were trying to practice like your letters, and they had that halfway point for you. Super easy. So I did some dashed lines. I know you can't really see them. Okay, so let's start that actual lettering. When you do it, pretend like you were drawing your letters back in, you know, first grade, kindergarten sort of a thing. So I'm going to start with that middle letter right here, going up to that middle line, trying to make sure I'm consistent with how far apart each letter is. And then in a tall letter, I made sure it went all the way up to that guideline. Now over here, do the same thing. Make sure the fonts that you're using are consistent and how you're writing your letters. And then finally, the R. Just like that. So that's a really easy way to do some lettering. If you're going on a curved surface like this, again, give yourself that guideline at the halfway point. And notice how I'm turning my paper with me. Super important. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing down here now. You can see how to do that. I could also center this P, so I make it a little bit more centered through the whole thing. just like that. And then I would go through and I would erase all my guidelines. So that's a really easy way to make sure that you have the right thing. Now, before I finish this, I want to talk a little bit about fonts. So whenever you're using two different styles of font, things to think about. You need to have one that's like a basic standard, sorry if I just froze, a basic standard, just like writing, like print, and then you can pair that with something that's a little bit more like flowy. So you want something one that's standard, so this is the standard one. It's just a normal script. And then you want another one that's fancy. And that's a really good way if you want two different fonts together. Alright, so let me know if you want any other information or if you have any questions. Have fun!